What's up, everybody? We have a great podcast. Today, we're talking about Valentine's Day fitness.
Oh.
Couples edition. We're a couple.
Yeah.
Also, nice guys and why Nathaniel always finishes last.
Uh-oh.
Then, obesity.
Mm-hmm.
It's tripled in a short period of time. Baby math.
Baby math?
You're going to wonder what I'm talking about here.
Okay. Like Goo Goo Gaga?
Then you got Andrew Huberman got challenged on social media.
Uh-huh.
Then the car market, and that's going to lead us to a whole why we're doing this. And we have an OnlyFans account now. We'll strip down.
Yeah. Your shirtless podcast.
Shirtless podcast. All right. You got Reddit finds. You got 2 studies. You have your 4 fitness questions at the very end. If you want to find us, we're on Apple and Spotify. You can rate and review us, leave a comment. Also on YouTube, please subscribe, rate us below, or I shouldn't rate us, comment below.
There you go.
Jesus, I can't even talk today. But also, give us that good comment. Like, dang, Edwin, your hair is nice and bald.
Yeah. Looking shiny today, bro.
Shine bright like a diamond. All right. And then our website is ssempowered.com. We have free blogs, free guides. If you really want to know what the cost of getting lean is, this is a great guide that you can look at and see what it really takes to get that to that low percentage of body fat. Then if you're looking for an email, it's ssempowered.com. Then if you're looking for social media on Facebook, it's Strength Solutions. On TikTok, it's strength.solutions.pod. And then on Instagram, it's Strength Solutions Empowered. I'm Strength Solutions Edwin.
I'm Strength Solutions Nathaniel.
Okay, bro. So the reason this podcast is going to be about couples and things you can do as a couple is Valentine's coming up.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Big capitalistic holiday, you know.
Whoa. This is my favorite holiday of the year.
Yeah, I don't believe it.
Okay, don't believe it. But before we go into the couples and fitness, the funny thing is my daughters were talking to Amanda, and they literally were like, I can't believe Dad hasn't asked you to be his Valentine's.
You have to.
I'm like, that's not how marriage works.
It's not an option, bro.
I sold that long time ago. Put a ring on it.
Yeah.
Everything. I don't got to put in that work anymore.
You have to, bro. You have to bring the bag. You have to bring the chocolate.
Will you be my Valentine?
Yeah, man. Girls just care about the thought. It doesn't have to be big. Doesn't have to do anything. It's just a thought. See, this guy, Valentine's Day is your favorite holiday. Get out of here.
Dude, I actually, growing up, hated Valentine's.
Yeah. I think, because I'm trying to think about the biggest time I remember was elementary school when you have to pass out the little stupid cards to everybody. I know. Yeah. I never asked anybody to be my Valentine. I think even when I was in high school, I don't even think I asked anyone. You know, I just had too many people to ask, you know.
This is the first year you're going to do it.
Yeah. First year having a Valentine.
I'm going to let Camille know. Did he ask you?
Yeah. I did ask. That's how I know, man. That's how you're behind, bro.
All right, so let's talk about activities of being healthy now and what you could do for Valentine's Day.
Okay.
There's a really good one right here. It is cook and meal prep together.
I like that. That's a good idea.
You know why I like this? I like this for the fact that you're going to spend time together.
Yeah.
You're going to build your relationship a little bit more. You're going to talk a little bit more. I feel like a lot of times we seriously just don't spend enough time together because we're always busy.
Yeah. It's really hard, especially as you get older or you have more things pile up or work or kids or whatever. It's super easy to get lost in the moment, so to speak, of life. You know what I mean? Of just things going on. So anytime that you can grab to give yourself a little bit of alone time or just time to just talk about whatever, your day, I think is really important.
Yeah. And then maybe you can share things that you've never known about a person and their food preferences too. Because sometimes you get caught up and you're just talking and you're always doing your thing and you're I just want this food and that food, but they don't know why this is your preference or would you prefer a different flavor and things like that. I'm very plain, right? Overall. Okay. So Amanda asked me, you sure you don't want anything different? I'm like, honestly, just the same thing.
You're like a dog. You could eat the same stuff over and over and
Are you
over.
calling me a dog?
Yeah.
Oh shit! I just came out.
Yeah. I'm the same way for the most part. I feel like I can eat the same stuff for a long time until there's sort of like a moment where I'm like, I don't want to eat it anymore. Like for me right now, dude, I still can't get back to eating tuna, man. Like there's a moment in time where I was just like going hard at it, and I love it. Like I can have it now, but it's like there's still moments where I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna eat that. Yeah.
No, yeah. And then like Amanda's the complete opposite. She wants like 20 different things.
Variety all the time. Yeah.
Different flavors, different tastes. I'm like, you're eating chicken, it's the same shit.
Yeah.
Just a different, it's shredded.
Yeah.
Now it's like whole. Now you put cheese in between the middle. It's still chicken.
It's still chicken at the end of the day. Yeah.
All right. So number 2 is go on walks after meals.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is one of my favorite things
Sure.
to do. 1, it helps digest your food a little bit better. 2, you got to spend more time with your significant other.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, you can build more in your relationship, right?
Yeah.
So it's like trying to combine multiple things.
Yeah. I think it's like we were saying, like when you get busy, it's really important to kind of like, I don't know what to even say, like sort of like layer things on top of each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
not layering. That's on side by side. This is more layering. Like right on top.
Yeah,
right?
so
like
it's like
this
to like layer your stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah,
bit,
and
right?
so it's like where it's like, okay, well, I know we need to cook, right? But let's do it together so we can spend time together, right? Or hey, I really need to work out today, or go for a walk or something like that. Let's do it together, right? Just so you can have those moments, because it's super easy to do them together. There's no reason that you really can't,
Yeah, and also not just like walking after meals and talking about like digestion, your glucose levels do better. It also walking's very underrated as a physical activity for most people. People think they got to go hardcore and stuff like that. I literally saw an Instagram post. I can't remember his name, but he's like very influential in the UFC and stuff like that. And he was talking about like, if I had to pick one exercise, and does like this big old hype thing. If I had to put one exercise, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
And he was like, it'd be walking.
Right.
People don't think of walking as exercise, but it is an exercise. Your body's meant to twist. It opens up your hips. We sit down so much today where we used to move all the time. So
yeah.
Walking was natural. Now it's not even natural for people to walk anymore. People don't even walk correctly.
True. Man, that's crazy to think about. Yeah.
Number 3. Work out together, but not all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So the reason I put not all the time is when you work out together, there's been a study recently that came out saying that you don't work out as hard, or you get not as much muscle benefit when you work out together.
Interesting.
I can see as true, right? Because part of your brain is spending time with them.
So was this research only on like significant others, or was this on like your gym partner, your bro? Couples. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And so it makes sense because I'm like that. I like to work out, be in my headspace.
Yeah.
And do that. And you don't get as hard of workout if you're with your wife, your girlfriend, your partner. Because you're to think about like them. Also, if you're very serious and they're not very serious.
Yeah.
then it becomes like a distraction somewhat for optimal training, right?
Yeah.
But the other part you're optimizing is your time to spend with them if you're so busy.
There's a lot of aspects to everything,
Mm-hmm. You work out with your partner?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, but I agree the same thing. Even like if I'm working out with you or like the bros or something like that, sometimes we just like screw around the whole time, and it's just like, nothing's getting done today.
That's why I like working out with myself.
I do. I like working out alone. I know a lot of people are always like, wow, you work out alone all the time? And I'm like, man, I've been working out alone for like, I don't know, my entire career of lifting, Every once in a while, I like to like, we'll lift together sometimes, like once in a while, right? But I think we're both the same, where it's kind of like, do my own thing, My brother sometimes, or every once in a while, me and Camille will go together too. But yeah, there's definitely a difference when you're working out with a significant other as opposed to like a gym bro or by yourself, right?
Yeah. I know if we worked out together and we're like, okay, let's be serious today. We're gonna get.
Yeah, we're gonna get shit done. Yeah.
All right. The next one is be in nature together, right? And so, what does that mean? Camping, hiking, do things outdoors.
Mm-hmm.
Why? There's a lot of benefit in getting some sun.
Sure.
Getting out in nature. That's where we're meant to be. I feel better when I go on a hike.
I hate being outside.
Stupid. Says the guy who went to Enchanted Rock.
Oh man, I miss that place. That was super fun, dude. Yeah. I do. I think if I had to choose any outdoor activity, it's gonna be hiking, man. I do really, really enjoy that a lot. Especially if you get there like early or honestly any time of day at all. That's one of my favorite. Like if I'm gonna do anything like physical activity wise with my partner, it's probably gonna be that.
Yeah. Oh man, it's fun. This last one comes from Amanda, my wife.
Okay. Oh, she added in something.
She
here.
added something because I was like, what else should I put on there? And she's like, cuddling.
Okay.
And I was like, why should I put cuddling? And she's like, well, it helps you fall asleep faster.
True. Yeah. Fuck
better, your heart rhythm, and your sleep's much better. And
yeah.
it's like, dang.
You're like, let's go cuddle right now.
Let's go cuddle.
That's a good one, man. I like it. Yeah.
Because it does. I don't know if you've ever laid down next to Camille. I know sometimes, like, all of a sudden my heart rate just drops.
Yeah, stress.
And I
yeah.
feel relaxed and, like, not as stressed. And, like, you're in rhythm. You're breathing rhythm together. And it's common.
I think there's something to, like, because, like, you know, sometimes I have, like, a real stressful day or whatever. And I'm just like, man, I just want to get home and just, like, talk or just, like, lay in bed or do something. Because it just, like, phew, you know, like everything just kind of like calms down. Yeah, you calm down. Anxiety kind of goes away. Stress levels kind of like decrease. And so it's a good one, man. That's a good addition there. Yeah.
So you heard it from here first. From Strength Solutions.
Yeah.
This is the how to optimize your health. You need to cuddle.
Cuddle. Yeah.
Cuddle, cuddle, cuddle.
Hold on. Are you big spoon or little spoon?
I'm big spoon.
Come on, bro.
Bro, because she gets hot. And then I gotta
go. Get the hell off me. Yeah.
And usually she falls asleep first.
So okay.
If I fell asleep first, it'd be different, right? I'm the one that falls asleep second because I have more trouble.
And you kind of do your thing or whatever it is. Yeah.
Push her to the side.
Yeah. See you, babe.
Solutions, cuddle. You heard it here.
Yeah,
first.
there you go.
All right. So what'd you do this weekend, bro?
This weekend's funny. Everybody's been asking me that, and I cannot remember.
Were you high?
Huh?
You were high.
Yeah. I'm just coming down right now. No, one of the biggest things that I did this weekend was purge. I got rid of a lot of stuff, man. Just like,
oh, I thought you meant like purge.
Yeah. No, I went out and shot everybody like the movie.
Like the
movie. Yeah. No.
That would be insane if that really happened in real life.
Yeah, I would be so scared.
Like, who has a gun that I need?
Yeah. I'd be like, oh, let's see, which one of my clients is always talking about shooting guns? I got rid of a bunch of stuff this weekend. I got rid of a lot of old clothes, man. A lot of clothes that like didn't really fit anymore because I've gotten like bigger over time, you know?
I have something for you. One of the guys at the gym.
Uh-huh.
He was like, dude, I saw Nathaniel and he looks huge.
Who's this? I want to know. You got to tell me later.
I'll tell you later.
It's because I am huge. That's why I look huge.
But not where it matters.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I got these. This is all that matters.
Hey guys, I'm Nathaniel.
Yeah, that's a Strength Solutions. Yeah, I got rid of a lot of old clothes, man. It's funny because I do this every once in a while. Like, kind of, there's a moment in time where I'm like, all right, I gotta get rid of shit. Like, it's freaking me out. And my daughter, you know, she has a bunch of stuff too, and we're always together and everything like that. And our space is kind of small, right? And so, you know, her toy box is just like overflowing with stuff. And so I asked her the same thing. I was like, hey, dude, today we are getting rid of things. And she's like, no, I don't want to. Like, she was like, it makes me sad to get rid of stuff. And I was like, dude, there's so many people out there that don't have anything. And I was like, you give it to them for like nothing, for free. And I was like, most of the stuff is even trash too. So we just throw it away, you know? And so I really try and instill in her this, like, it's a good thing, you know, like it's not like a bad thing to get rid of stuff or whatever. But this time she's kind of giving me a little bit of pushback on it. And I was like, look, either you get rid of your stuff or I get rid of it. And she was like, all right, never mind. She was like, I'll do it. And the cool thing is that as we were doing that, she was like, you know, like kind of like dreading it a little bit. And like halfway through, she was like, you know what? Actually, this is pretty fun. And I was like, yeah, it is. It's like, it's nice to get rid of things so that you have more space for like new stuff or whatever it is, you know what I mean? Or just to make your life easier too. Cause you know, we're getting rid of her clothes and I'm just like, bro, this stuff doesn't even fit you anymore. You know, like why is it stuffed in your drawer? Same thing with me too, you know? So I'm very big into like releasing, you know, like not getting attached to things too much.
I feel like a lot of times when you clean your space too, it's like a lot of clarity that comes in your head, right?
Yeah. Like it definitely felt just better. You know what I mean? I think there really is something to having an organized space. I know like I'm a little more like anal about
You
it.
like anal?
Yeah. You what? Anal what?
Camille be putting that strap on.
Uh,
I'm gonna have to ask her about that later.
yeah. I'm a little more like intense about it, and I've gotten a lot better. Like, dude, I used to like clean every other day, like vacuum, deep clean everything, because it was like a control aspect. Now I can go months, without caring, and which is, I know sounds also funny, but for me that's a big thing. Like that's a big step for me. And so yeah, but I do think there is something to have at least like an organized space, a clean space to like work in or sleep in or any of those things, because when you sleep and everything's just like everywhere, I feel like it affects you. And so yeah, I'm really big into getting rid of things. So that's what I did this weekend, man. What about you?
So my daughter's birthday was last week, right?
Yeah,
And,
birthday.
Whoa. We just chilled on Friday.
Yeah.
Saturday, my parents came over, so we had my parents and Amanda's parents.
Oh, cool.
Over, and my grandma.
Did they come over like for the birthday, or they just came
over?
Yeah.
And so we had fun, just talked a lot and stuff like that. And then on Sunday, I just chilled pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no, I helped Amanda move sweets.
Oh, okay.
Salon sweets. So I did that on Sunday.
Nice.
Yeah, I have to lift up the heavy stuff.
yeah. Are you ready for the Super Bowl?
Am I ready for the Super Bowl? Sports, right? I'm a big fanatic.
Yeah.
I was, right? I feel like I didn't even watch the playoffs this year, really.
No.
And I watched a little bit, and I was telling Amanda, like, I just don't watch as much. It's not as important to me. It's a good escape, and it's on TV and stuff like that.
It's fun, entertaining.
I have a bigger mission in life. Feel like I have a purpose to help a lot of young men, or create this podcast, create this business, create a better San Antonio, where I feel like we were disconnected in the health space and really connecting people and making it better for people. I think that's like more of my drive and what I'm interested in, and meeting people who want to help other people.
There's just more important things, Yeah. And it's like, I understand hobbies. Like, to me, I think if you're really, really into sports, to me, I find that as like your hobby, right? It's just something you like doing. It's entertaining. It's fun. It's maybe even has a social aspect, right? People like to get together for the games and things like that. So it's all fine, right? But yeah, obviously I'm not really like super, into it or anything like that.
Whoa, bro, I thought you were like all about football.
Yeah,
right?
I'm a huge football guy. But yeah, I know that it is a big thing for a lot of people, and especially like America, right? Like, it's America's holiday, bro. Yeah, it's football.
So I was really thinking about this, and just like, I think sports are there just to entertain me.
Yeah.
And then I'll pick like silly shows on Prime. But I like to just use my time to wind down and relax now. It's no more about, hey, I got to watch all these football games and stuff like that. And like, I have a buddy who is doing semi-pro football.
Wow.
And he's just around 30. And I'm thinking to myself, like, I would never go back and do that. I mean, that's like a young man's game. 2, you're not getting paid for it. And it's just like,
not getting paid, that sucks.
And you're like, he was saying something about like, I would regret it if I didn't do it. And I'm just like, okay, that's cool for you, but I was like, I would never do that stuff.
Yeah, and
I don't love sports that much.
Right, and that's the thing too, right? Like, it's, for him, if he didn't do it, he would think back every day and be like, oh, I should have done it. I could have done it. I did whatever.
I think he's stupid, but
but I think it's everybody's, whatever they want to do. You know what I mean? Yeah, because
he's not harming anybody. Right?
Yeah, because they might look at us and be like, a podcast? The fuck? Like, that sounds stupid. You know what I mean? No, you're never gonna make it. Whatever it is, and it's like everybody has an opinion on something, but that's cool, man. Yeah, that's crazy.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I've just got to the point with sports is like, hey,
I'm excited for the Olympics, for the Summer Olympics this year.
Oh
yeah, I do like the Olympics.
So you can pretend you care every 4 years.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I'm gonna come here and clean and jerk.
Our next video.
Yeah, it's just that.
Trying out for the Olympics.
Yeah.
The trial's already over. But
what's up, guys? It's Nathaniel. Gonna lift this far.
I took my testosterone.
Yeah.
I shoot it right in my balls.
Yeah. Straight in the balls, guys.
I also, I like going for walks on the weekend.
Yeah.
And went for a walk and I listened to podcasts, and of course the Modern Wisdom one I like. I like it because he has a lot of different social contexts, and it was a nice guy podcast and talking about why nice guys struggle.
Okay.
And it made me think of my son and like, what do I want to teach him to attract a partner?
Mm-hmm.
And some things are like, you want to have ambition.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's a big part of a man.
Yeah.
Is having ambition, showing that you can take care of things and take the lead, and things like that. And so he was talking on there, and it was really interesting. The thing that what we're struggling in the dynamics right now is women have gone so much into the masculine.
Like they themselves.
They themselves.
Uh-huh.
They don't know how to be in the feminine, but you have to put them in the feminine.
Yeah.
And he was talking about like simple things that you can do is like, hey, wait for me because I'm going to open the door for you.
Mm-hmm.
And so what you're doing is you're doing a gentlemanly task,
Mm-hmm.
but you're showing your masculine side, like, I'm going to do this for you.
Yeah.
And it's something simple.
Right. Yeah. I think in the same way. So here, I'm going to take it back. I'm going to take it in a couple different ways. So like thinking about like asking to be a Valentine, right? Like, I think that's like a simple thing that kind of shows like, I still care, or I'm going to take care of you this Valentine's Day or whatever it is, right? Like there's something to it. I was having a conversation with a client the other day, and I love talking to this guy, man. He's a super interesting guy. He's just, I like the way he thinks. He's very masculine, right? He's very, I feel like in his masculine element, he's very like take charge, charismatic. Like he's a cool guy, man. And so I was talking to him the other day, and I just was asking him about like his relationship, what he did this weekend, stuff like that. And my dude's been married 40 years. Okay. Ooh. Yeah. A long time. So, and I was like, how, dude? Like, how do you do it? And he was like, well, he was like, if you want to be married that long, you're going to learn a lot. And he was like, you're going to learn all about yourself and about your partner. And he was like, if you're not willing to learn, then your marriage isn't going to last 40 years. And I was like, yeah, that's really true. And he was like, this past weekend we went out and they went to dinner and stuff like that. And he was like, he was saying that his wife told him, like, you take really good care of me. And I was like, oh, man. I was like, that would have fucking hit me hard. You know what I mean?
Oh, dude. That's
yeah.
Emotion.
Yeah.
For a guy, right?
For a man, right? And he was like, we were both talking about how, like, acknowledgement of your hard work will make you fucking work harder. You know what I mean? Like, just saying, like, you take care of me. Like, you really provide, like, thank you for mowing the lawn or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Like those types of things to a guy are super motivating, right?
So notice he didn't say anything about, oh, I love you.
Yeah. Right.
Right. Because it's not about love.
Yeah.
For a lot of guys.
He was
about respect.
Yeah. And he was saying that he was like, that shows me affection. He was like, that shows me that she cares. That shows me that what I'm doing matters. And he was like, if I did stuff and nobody said anything about it, well, what the hell? You know what I mean? I'm not going to do it. You know what I mean? And he was like, he said a really good point. And he's more religious, so he was taking it in a different aspect, but I think that this could be applied to any aspect, really. And he was like, I truly believe, and I agree with this, right? I'll even say it from my perspective, I won't even say that he said it, that if a guy does what he's supposed to, right? If a man provides, does all those things that like a masculine role is supposed to do, that a woman would like to follow. Will sort of like quote unquote fall in line, right? Yeah. Like it's the dichotomy of a relationship, right? And it could be anybody, right? Like, again, I really believe that it's just sort of like energies. It's not so much like a man has to do this and a woman has to do this, but as long as one of them is doing something, the other energy will kind of like fall into that sort of line, right? And so, yeah, I agree that it's like, and it's funny too, because I would say, because you made a joke, but I completely agree that like when I was younger, I definitely followed that sort of like nice guy mentality, right? Like I'll be, you know, I guess not like a pushover, but like, go ahead.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, like when he goes into the podcast about it, it's more about we are growing up in a society where boys are taught to always please women, right? Mm-hmm. And so most of us become too nice. Mm-hmm. And therefore, you're just doing whatever they want.
Right.
And then if you think about the role models they have as boys growing up, especially if they come from a single household, is you're always trying to please your mother. you're always trying to please a teacher, which is like 90 something percent of the time, mostly women.
Mm-hmm.
And so what you're already doing subconsciously is whatever they want is what they're going to get. And you have a lot of boys who don't have a masculine role model
Yeah.
to teach them how to lead.
It's funny, man, because as you're saying masculine role models, you know, I don't have a son, you know, but my brother does. I should ask him about this and see. Because I know my brother is a very masculine role model, right? Like, you know, I think maybe he might be a masculine role model to me, you know, growing up. And it's funny because, like, you know, the generation before, like maybe yours had like Arnold, right? And like all those guys on the movies, you know, superhero, like these big, jacked, like, we're men, you know, like getting shit done, you know. And it's like when I was younger, I didn't really have too many of that because I was more interested in like different things. But I will say that at the very least, I still had like anime and cartoons and stuff.
They're jacked.
Yeah,
Right?
and
like
seeing like
Stanley
seeing like Goku on Dragon Ball Z, or like, you know, all those characters who are like fighting and like pushing through to the end, and they never, like, I'll fucking cry talking about it right now, bro, because it's like, I remember I saw an episode a long time ago of Dragon Ball Z show, and it was like so intense because they were like, there's no chance that they were gonna win, you know, but they still like pulled it out at the end. And it's like this how do you say it, not underdog, because it's not really that, but just this drive to like not quit. You know what I mean? When
like
shit,
overcoming
when shit gets hard, we're gonna fucking keep pushing harder. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, I think about it now, and I have a daughter, right? So we don't really watch like a bunch of like masculine shows and stuff like that. But I can see the difference between shows like Bluey. Okay, I know that your kids don't watch that.
I
right?
know what that is because
Okay, yeah. Okay, so Bluey, right? Bluey is very much like, let's care about everybody. Everybody's like thoughts matter, and how do we work through situations, and let's do this in a nice way, and let's learn how to like do, and it's great. I fucking love that show. Like it's really, really good. Mommy. Yeah. No, it's oh yeah, you do the little dance. Edwin. Yeah. And so it's, I love it. I really do. But then we'll watch a show like an anime, right? Like My Hero Academia or whatever. I'm sure you've seen like that show at least. And like the characters in those shows, like the main characters, like the little boy, his name is Deku, and then like one of the bigger guys too, are the same way, where it's like, we're gonna fight and we're gonna get through this, and we're gonna like, I'm not gonna give up, and I'm gonna protect my friends, and I'm gonna protect, you know, this, and it's a little more masculine, right? And to me, I see it and I'm just like, God, like, this is inspiring fucking character over here, dude. Like, I really like this guy. Yeah. And it's like, so I really, really think that there's something to like you said, the way the society sort of structures your expectations as a child. And then when you grow up, no wonder, you know, you're kind of spent in this moment where it's just like, okay, babe, like I'll do whatever you want, you know, like don't yell at me, you know, about whatever. And then you just get walked all over, you know?
I'll even give you another perfect example. Is my sister was here, I forgot to say, this weekend, and her son, and we had this whole conversation about like how he acts differently around his dad.
For sure. So I was gonna ask you if your daughters act different around Amanda than they do around you.
I'm pretty sure they do.
Yeah.
And then we were in the garage, and we were lifting weights.
Okay. Who?
He's never lifted weights. Christian, myself, my dad, and
and your
my nephew. And he was never lifted anything, but you could tell as soon as he did his first like deadlift, like there's something that clicked in animalistically. Never done it, and like, you know,
how old?
I think he's a year younger. I think he's 9.
Okay,
or turning 9. Can't remember.
So just the boys in the weight room, huh?
Yeah. So we were in there, and all of a sudden he was like lifting and excited and doing things.
Yeah.
And it was just really interesting that he started listening to like everything I was telling them and stuff like that.
Wow.
And then Christian tried to get into literally lifting heavier to outshine him. Yeah. And I was like, bro, you know you're stronger than him.
Yeah, you don't have to do that, man.
I've taught you stuff.
Yeah.
And it was just funny.
It's just like that. That's just how you are. You know what I mean? It's just a boy thing. Yeah.
A boy, right?
Yeah.
And it's okay. And I think we went too far one way with this toxic masculinity.
Yeah. I think,
the other thing.
You know, I think my brother, I really respect him in a lot of ways, you know. And I think that he's done a good job with my nephew because my nephew is a fucking sweet little boy, man.
Yeah.
Like he is just like a little nice guy, you know, and I love him, and he's so sweet and kind and everything. And then, you know, you got my brother around, and he's like, "Bleh." And so like, you know, my brother will text me and be like, I bought him, like he bought him some sandbags, he bought him kettlebells, he bought him all this stuff, and he's like, you know, pick it up, you know, like hold it and like let's do stuff and everything. So I think he does a really good job of having like that balance there of like teaching him how to be masculine, but also having that like ability to.
I do think you gotta teach your sons to be like dogs sometimes. Like you gotta like grunt work. You gotta,
work. Yep.
Like if you're
a little brutish,
sled,
man.
Like just keep on going
Mm-hmm.
because the world does not treat you the same as a woman.
Yeah.
And there's a thing as for guys, pretty privilege.
Oh yeah.
Right. And I don't think
we talk about this. We talk about this a lot. Yeah.
But we know, like, you have to develop skills beyond that. So, like, I need Christian to learn how to be charismatic. I need to learn all these other skills and tactics.
I mean, he needs to be funny.
Exactly, right?
yeah.
And I was talking to a client of mine because I was listening to this podcast, and this person just happens to view things from a woman's lens, right?
Okay.
And so, like, nothing's ever wrong with guys in society. They have it easy.
I see. Uh-huh.
And we were talking, you know, and I was like, I had to develop skills. So like from my high school to about like maybe freshman to sophomore year, I literally had to develop skills on like picking up girls.
Yeah.
Right.
I never developed this. Huh? I said I never developed this. Yeah.
Right? And then I told her like I had to, I forgot the word I used, but like manipulate.
Sure.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
Still being nice. It's not like I was harmful or anything like that. But I had to literally assert like dominance.
Yeah.
In some way.
Yeah.
And that's when I started picking up women. And I think a lot of times a nice guy misconstrues dominance and masculinity as a jerk.
Being a douchebag. Yeah.
Right? That's
a Chad.
When I started picking up girls is when that started happening. Being more confident, being able to just say a joke that's random, like it's hot as hell outside, and I would just be like, "Man, it's so cold. I need to put on some like jacket on," or something. And they would just start laughing. Right?
Just being just stupid. Yeah.
And so it's learning how to just be in your skin.
Yeah, I agree, man. Yeah, it's definitely different. You know, me and Camille talk a lot about pretty privilege because I mean she's gorgeous, man, and so it's like she was talking to me today and she was like, it's so crazy like how I will get treated compared to other people, you know, like even just like visually seeing it happen or whatever,
or another girl who's considered prettier than her.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And so it's like she was like, it's just insane. And I was like, yeah, it's you live a life that like other people don't know about,
and,
you know?
Yeah. And that's why people's lenses are misconstrued because they're living through their lens and not like looking through this whole holistic approach of like, okay, I've been gifted a lot. It's just like when I see a lot of wealthy people where I'm here and I got here. Yeah. But you went through a certain circumstance. You went through that.
Yeah.
You had different mentors in your life that just happened to be in your life.
Yeah.
And you could get away with more because your parents are already wealthy. And then there's like so many, everybody has a different lens, but like, how do we teach people to look and learn?
Right.
All these tactics and skills of whether it's getting girls or getting money.
Yeah.
And stuff like that, you know?
Yeah. I didn't learn any of those things.
She came up to you, right?
Yeah, bro. I don't know how I ended up in any of the relationships I was in. Yeah, just the luck of the draw, man.
I'm sitting here.
Yeah.
I'm Nathaniel.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on to in one generation. It's crazy, dude. When I read this article, tripled in obesity within one generation. So it's within 60 years. Obesity has tripled.
That's insane, man. That's so much.
So I have a stat here. I got to pull it up.
Okay.
But it shows where the average American was in the 1960s to today. In 1960, the average woman was 5'3".
Okay.
140 pounds.
Okay.
Today, the average woman, not today. Let me know. Sorry.
Yeah.
Average man in that same time period in 1960 was 5'8", 166 pounds.
Okay.
Today, the average U.S. woman is 5'4", 171 pounds. So more than the 1960s man.
Damn. Yeah.
And then the average man is 5'9", 198 pounds.
Okay.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Big of a difference, right?
That's a lot. That's
I
like
wonder
60
how much of
pounds
it
each. Yeah.
is skewed from people actually building muscle, right?
Yeah, because
A
that's
little bit.
difficult, right? It's obviously going to skew it in some way, but I mean,
But
let's
on
be real,
average,
man. Yeah,
yeah.
like a lot. It's probably not.
Well, I think I don't know if you sent it or I sent it to you, but there's like even where you go to a doctor's office and they say, "Don't wake me unless it's medically necessary."
I sent it to you. Yeah, I saw this like thing where this person had. It kind of reminded me of when COVID was going around and people created like those little like fake like I don't know medical cards that were like I can't wear a mask because blah blah blah. It was sort of the same concept where it was like, oh, you can't weigh me unless it's like absolutely medically necessary because of like it'll mess with my mental health or something like that. And you know, a lot of people in the comments were like, they're not trying to weigh you to like body shame you. Like it's important to know this stuff, you know. And it's like, how will I know if it's medically necessary or not if I can't weigh you? You know what I mean?
Why don't you weigh them and just don't show them the scale?
That's what they were saying. They were like, can't they just like step on and like turn around or like not like, or yeah, or just ask them like, hey, just don't tell me how much it is. You know what I mean? But still take the information down. Yeah. I don't know. It's just this thing where I feel like people don't want to accept that there's an issue and they kind of avoid it any way possible, you know? Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah. So this baby math thing, did I show
you? No, what the hell is
so
this?
It was a comedian woman talking about, she just turned 30 or whatever.
Wait, a woman comedian?
Stupid.
So this joke will be funny then. Okay, got it.
Yeah. So she's talking about like she's making it fun of it, but she was like, now I want to have a baby, but I'm gonna be 32, pretty close, but I want to make sure I have a baby by 36. Mm-hmm. And she's like, so I have to meet a man today and then engage at this time and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so like it made me think about like she was making fun of the situation,
right?
But deep down inside, it happens to a lot of women who end up wanting to have kids later, but they were told not to go after partners. They were told to just do work. And then they end up regretting not having a child later because they can't have it. It's too late, or maybe they're not with a partner. And it's like, you got to look in your 20s because you have a clock that ticks.
Yeah, unfortunately.
A man doesn't have a clock that ticks.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, how many times have we heard like where like 80-year-old man impregnates, 25-year-old wife or whatever it is, and it's like, damn. It's gonna be you, bro. He's still going, bro. Yeah. But it really is like that, right? Like where there is, unfortunately, a sort of like biological time clock, where you have to like sort of race against, or I mean, I guess you don't necessarily have to, but as time goes on, then the risks increase. You know what I mean? Yeah. For like health and the health of the child as well, and everything. And so, it's rough, man. Yeah, it definitely is. Especially with this, like we just talked about, nice guy stuff, and then the changing of like social expectations for like women and men. I feel like it just is this sort of
it's like a little whirlwind, right?
Like yeah, like a perfect combination of just like fucking everything up.
Yeah. Speaking of fucking things up, Andrew Huberman, right? So I think he was on a podcast, and this guy clipped his podcast and was talking about, a lot of people are like, well, if you have knee pain and while running, it's the ATIP and stuff like that. And he's going through it, and which is your anterior tibialis, which is part of it, your shins, right?
Could be, yeah.
Right. And so this guy, and I'm sure it's probably clips from a podcast, and he probably said that it was, more than that. But he was all, well, it also could be this, and it also could be this if you're a poor runner and that. And I'm thinking to myself, like, man, this guy's just probably get a lot of views because he's going against Andrew Huberman, which is really popular, really smart, intelligent. And sometimes the science community does do a poor job of just saying there's also other things. They'll say what the research shows and stuff like that.
I think sometimes science is very concerned with being right or being exact as opposed to being more, generalized, I guess you could say. So, yeah. But, I mean, I will say on whoever this person is that challenged him, It's a pretty good idea. You want clicks, man. Like,
it
yeah,
got my attention.
going against the grain is always a good idea if you want activity.
I mean, I just think we need to like stop all that stuff in fitness
Yeah.
and health. Like they're not right. This is not right. And like I was explaining to a trainer the other day that I literally could take a dumbbell and just put it behind my head, come forward, make this an exercise. My body makes that movement.
Mm.
But what's the risk versus reward? What's my load tolerance?
Yeah, I
And
do see a lot of
why
people.
am I doing this? Is like the big thing. I think we need to think of a higher learning of like more nuanced.
Yeah, like I don't know if you've ever seen that, like I guess like a lateral raise type movement where it like comes from the bottom and then like you go all the way around to the top and then come back down like over this way. And I'm just like, you know, like is this like a risky movement? Why are you doing that? You know, are there better options to do this? Things like that. But yeah, I think there's always sort of yeah. Yeah, I think it really, really depends, you know.
All right. This last thing is I was on Carvana
Mm-hmm.
because I like going on there looking at like used cars every now and then because I think we've been thinking about getting a car.
Cool.
Amanda.
Yeah.
Not for me.
Yeah.
Sadly.
What do you need a car for, bro? Just ride the lawnmower, man.
All the way to work.
Yeah.
But dude, we were looking at the same vehicles not even 6 months ago, and it was almost like $6,000 less. And you're about to see the big repo and the market change.
Oh, we talked about the repossession thing, right?
Right. We did talk about it in the past, and now you're starting to see the numbers prove it. You're starting to see lots starting to get full.
Yeah.
I don't know if you notice, if you drive down 10, you can kind of see like, okay, some of these dealerships are
getting packed. Yeah.
Yeah. And so you're about to see the bounce back. I think this summer is the time to buy if you're going to buy one.
Very cool, man.
You bought it too early.
I know. It's funny. I remember thinking about it when I was buying the car, and I was just like, dude, if I could just wait a few more months, I bet it would be different. But at the time, it was more of a necessity than it was like something that I needed to like bide my time for. Yeah. So yeah, I just bit the bullet and did it, and I don't regret it at all. But yeah, it is. I knew it was going to happen. You know what I mean? But it was just like the time frame of it. I was just like, I can't wait that long.
Yeah, dude. But also you're starting to see like massive layoffs. Like I think UPS just laid off like 12,000. Damn. And then I don't think people realize, I think we were really in a recession this whole time.
Yeah, we have.
It was a different type of recession. All because the numbers at the top look really good.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean other people weren't suffering. And unemployment typically signifies the end of a recession. Right? So the layoffs and stuff like that, how long? We don't know. And when I mean the end, we're going towards the end of the recessionary period.
Okay. Yeah.
So you're going to start seeing all the corrections. Is it going to be steep, or is it going to be hard, or is it going to be like a small dip? You've seen prices in the grocery store go down a little bit, things like that.
I've noticed gas prices have gone down a lot over the past. Yeah, bro, I have to let you know I'm going to lay you off right now, bro, from Strength Solutions.
Fuck this.
Yeah. I hated this place anyway. I hated this job anyway.
All right, so let's go on to like Reddit finds.
Yeah.
This first one, I'll let you do it because this is all you. I can see you doing this next.
Bro, what are you talking about? I can see us doing this thing, man.
Actually,
yeah.
Maybe we need to become neighbors.
Dude, that would be awesome, man. Yeah, it was these two guys, and the caption was like, my husband just became friends with our across the street neighbor or whatever, and it's this dude, and he's standing outside, and he's got a lightsaber, and he's like, phew, and then like the other guy across the street is like coming out, and he's like spinning his around, they shoot it out also, and they like go and start fighting just like in the middle of the street.
Dude, how cool would that be, though?
Yeah, and I'm just like, again, boys don't ever grow up, man. Yeah, they just wear pants now.
And then you got the Buffalo Bills, and they had like this like Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
Yeah.
But it was like a little lancer, and you like poke the beers, and whoever gets their beer first poked, they have to like shotgun the beer.
Okay, yeah.
It was so
dude,
cool.
I've shotgunned a beer like twice, maybe. That's just so hard. I can't do it, man.
Yeah. And then people in Russia are different. The guy on the bear.
Dude, Russia is like a fever dream, bro. It's not real.
Dude, I would love just to see these things. Like, dude, I've heard of like a story of like this guy was in Russia, and I guess the cops were chasing this guy, and this guy was in a car, and the cop literally just jumps right through his window. Like he got his feet up, Literally just like through the windshield.
Like drop kicked it.
Yeah.
Dude, that place is insane.
Yeah.
I don't want to go there.
And then let's end on a good one. Plastic turning into energy.
Yo, man, I gotta follow up on this guy because I don't know if he's in jail right now.
He's probably dead somewhere.
Yeah. So this dude, I think I've sent you his stuff before in the past. Yeah. He's this dude in the middle of I don't know where, man. I don't know where he's located or anything. He probably shouldn't say, to be honest. And he's been like creating fuel from plastic. Like he's been doing this research in his freaking backyard, man. Like just doing, and he's been liquefying plastic. I don't know, refining it in some certain way and turning it into fuel, like for cars and engines and things like that. And I think recently he posted one where he had created diesel fuel, which is super important, right? I mean, how many vehicles use that? And he was like, he added all these news stations like on the TikTok. Like he was like at CNN, at, you know, this person, at, you know, blah, 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 like getting traction. You know what I mean? Like, come watch this happen. Cause he was like, tomorrow we're going to test my fuel inside. I don't know, one of the trucks that he had just kind of around. He was like, if it runs, then I think he made a really good point at the end. He was like, plastic is fuel. Plastic is money. Is what he said. He was like, plastic is money.
If you think about it, plastic's an oil, right? Like he
just
did it backwards.
Yeah, and it's funny because there's two guys that I follow on YouTube that I love watching their videos because it's just like insane. One of the guys, his name is Styro Pyro, and the other guy's name is Niall Red, and they're both scientists, but they both do like their shit just like, you know, gung ho, just wherever they're doing it. And Niall Red, he's a chemist, and what he does is he will do stuff like that. Like he'll be like, I'm gonna change, you know, this latex glove into grape soda or something like that, and he'll like extract whatever chemical in the glove that makes like a grape flavoring, and then like pull it out in this way, and then like add it into a soda, and then like drink it at the end and be like, yep, it tastes exactly like whatever.
Wow.
And so it's like you can do that. You can like, well, I guess it's not reduce because reduce would be adding stuff, but it's like you can, I don't know, change things until their basic, you know, levels, and then just change it into something else at the end if you're a good enough chemist. Like, dude's freaking genius. All his videos are like an hour and a half long, but I'll sit there and be like, I don't know what the hell's going on, but I love it.
That is cool.
Yeah.
All right, so this next one, we don't have any.
Yeah.
We have our study.
There we go.
So study number 1 is strength training is more effective than aerobic exercise for improving glycemic control and body composition in people with normal weight type 2 diabetes in a randomized control trial. So strength training for the win.
Yeah, I mean, that makes a lot of sense.
No, it makes a lot of sense because if you are the same weight as someone else, but you build more muscle, carbohydrates are stored in the muscle, your glucose response is going to be a lot better.
Your insulin response,
Yeah, and you're just going to do better, right? I've had a guy who literally lost 5 pounds, and it was over a 5-month period, but all we did was strength training.
Yeah.
He got off his medicine, his metformin.
Yeah.
And it's just those little things like that. I don't think people talk about muscle the right way. It's an organ. It's all the way around your body. It does a lot of stuff besides move your body.
I just got a new idea for a shirt slogan. Is I know a lot of times people will say movement is medicine, which I believe, right? Yeah. But I think muscle is medicine, bro.
It is.
How many things can be improved?
No, someone just stole this.
No, it hasn't been released yet.
Patent it right now.
Yeah, write that down. How many things can be improved by just increasing muscle mass? Yeah. You know what I mean? So many things, dude. We've done like how many research articles? We've done over 100 at this point, right?
I mean, recovery, if you have more muscle and you're injured, or whatever. Everything.
We've seen cancer get better. We've seen Alzheimer's, right? So many research articles have come out that have consistently pointed towards increasing muscle mass as like the main marker of improving health. And we're still on this cardio train, man. I don't get it.
I think it's slowly changing. We're in the middle of a revolution.
Yeah, everywhere, right? All over.
All right, second study. When a stressful situation is perceived as a threat, health and well-being suffer.
Yep.
So people experiencing more health and well-being issues when they feel overwhelmed by stressful situations rather than seeing them as a challenge. That's what a new study finds, right? So your well-being suffer. And I think like people look at stress and some of it is how you perceive it. And it makes like, I just literally talked to you about things that we got going on in the background and like
Yeah.
how it affected me this past week and stuff like that. But I turned it around and I perceived it a different way. So it changes my well-being about the exact topic we were talking about.
Perception really is a choice, and you can change a lot of situations in your life around just by perceiving it differently or trying to think about it differently. I learned it a long time ago. Is it still hard to apply? Hell yeah. There's still some times where you're just like, oh God, whatever it is. But I really think, a lot of my clients, if they're not improving or something like that, sometimes they'll be like, well, how's your sleep? And they're like, well, I sleep good. Well, how's your nutrition? Well, I've been eating right. Are you stressed out? Yeah, I am. And I'm like, well, I'm like,
That's it right there.
it's like you might have everything else down, which is great, right? Don't stop doing that stuff. But stress is a huge player. You know what I mean? If any of those things are kind of off, it's going to change how your body reacts, how you feel, your mental state, and it's going to affect a lot.
I think in the chiropractor episode, we even go into like how stress he affects
Oh, we
the
did.
body.
Yeah. I think we have a clip on it.
Yeah. All right, guys, if you like what we're doing, please share on Apple and Spotify. You can rate and review us there. On YouTube, you can subscribe, comment down below. Check us out. It's Strength Solutions Podcast. On a website, it's ssempowered.com. We have free blogs, free guides coming out each month. Then we have programs for their own purchase as well. Ethan is running our Stamps Magnify program.
Hell yeah.
So if you're interested in that one, check it out. Email us at ssempowered.com. Or sorry, strengthsolutionsempowered.com
There we go.
at gmail.com. Then social media, Facebook is Strength Solutions, TikTok strength.solutions.pod, Instagram Strength Solutions Empowered. I'm Strength Solutions Edwin.
I'm Strength Solutions Nathaniel.
All right, let's get ready for these fitness questions. First question: what has to be the best thing to do to get off diabetic medication?
Remove your liver. I mean, we just talked about this, man.
We just talked about it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's gotta be building muscle mass, man. It has to be. If nutrition is the hardest part, right? If you're like, oh, well, it's really hard to like do whatever. Okay, well then you need to be in the gym. You need to be in the gym. You need to be lifting some heavy ass weight, and you gotta be building muscle. And I bet, like you said, if you change just that, right, you could change how much medication you're taking. You could change how much this, how much that. You know what I mean? Oh, I know this isn't really diabetes related, but one of my clients had a heart condition when he came to me. He had just had like heart surgery.
Okay.
And the other day we were working out and stuff like that, and he was like, "Man, I'm feeling really dizzy and stuff." And I was like, "You been back to the cardiologist, man? Like, how's everything going?" And he was like, "Well, everything's been good, et cetera, stuff like that." And I was like, dude, you might have to go tell them that you've been consistently working out for a really long time, and you may not need to be on like such a high dose of like blood thinners or things like that. And I was like, you probably can't get enough oxygen anywhere, and you're feeling, because I was like, it's been a while now that you've been kind of complaining about this. And I was like, but we haven't really done anything different. And if you're the same, I was like, you might just want to talk to them and see what they say. Because I was like, you might have really improved, over time. And now the medication is doing the opposite, right? Yeah, it's hard. And so it's just, interesting.
Yeah. So something nutritionally you can do, though, I like to do is it's shown that like going a little bit of carbohydrates make a difference because you're so sensitive, right? But if you do want to have carbohydrates, you do a strength training bout, and then you have your carbohydrates.
Mm-hmm.
That tends to help out a lot with the process. That way you're not just like going almost like a keto, low carb.
Right.
That way you can get a little bit more carbohydrates in and be a little bit safer. And that'd be like the moment. Let's say you work out 7 o'clock in the morning. Well, you have a window to kind of get your carbohydrates in.
Get your banana.
Your banana. And enjoy. And then overall, just lift weights.
Yeah, just lift weights, man.
All right. Second question. Is there a way to reverse diet without weighing myself? It messes with my mind.
Yeah. Oof, man. Yeah. I have a lot of clients who need to do this. And it's like a process.
Crazy? It's crazy. There's people who need to do this and they don't understand the concept because it's pretty recent.
Yeah. And it goes against everything you've ever been told. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's funny because I have a client right now who has been listening to the podcast, so she'll probably know. But we were talking, and she was like, "Well, I figured out that I'm eating about 800 or 900 calories every day." And I was like, excuse me? Yeah. And I was like, that's insane. I was like, we can't do that anymore. I was like, I really need you to pick this back up. And I was like, I know it goes against what you want to do. I know it's probably not like the nicest thing that you want to hear right now, but I was like, going up in calories is probably gonna be the best thing that we need right now, because I need you to build muscle. I need you to fix metabolism. I need you to do whatever. And it's funny because she brought up one of our podcasts and she was like, well, I heard the other day on your podcast that you said that you don't like telling your clients to take a protein supplement. And she was like, but I really, really am having trouble getting my protein supplement, especially in like that low calorie range. She was like, do you think it would be a good idea? And I was like, honestly, yeah, I think right now I just want you to get more calories. Please do it. Like anything right now, I'll be happy about. And I was like, you're having trouble reaching the protein amount because you're eating just such a small amount of calories. You know what I mean? That's what the difficult part is. But I was like, over time, you know, I'm asking you to get 100 more calories this month, maybe next month, another 100. You know what I mean? But it's going to be a process, but I do need you to build, you know, and get into that reverse diet thing. So, and she was telling me today, she was like, I saw a little definition of my leg today and stuff. And I was like, let's go. That's what I'm talking about.
No, it's just funny, dude. Just when it comes to reverse dieting.
Yeah.
Do you have to weigh yourself? Most likely, I would love it if you did, right?
Yeah, just a track, right?
Just track. But if you really are mentally, like, look at things like, how do you look in the mirror? How does your clothes fit? Am I getting stronger in the weight room?
Mm-hmm.
Is a big indicator.
Yeah.
Of like, you're having a good reverse diet. Am I eating more protein?
Yeah.
You know, notice I didn't say just total calories. Protein's probably like your number one target.
Yeah.
Because most of the time when I reverse diet someone out, it's like, okay, you're hitting 60 grams. I need you at 80 grams.
Right.
You're at 80 grams. I need you at 100 grams.
Yeah.
And then you slowly build up.
Mm-hmm.
And then that way you get comfortable. You don't have gut issues.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Third question. I have lost mobility in my hips. What are things that I can do to restore my hips?
That's good.
So I would say this is more complex because, you know, for you it may be mobility, but it actually may be a lack of stability. Right? And so the function of the hips could be because maybe you're not activating correctly.
Yep.
And so you think it's a mobility issue because there's times where I could tell someone to reach their toes, right? They can't reach it. And then I'm like, okay, now draw your core in. I want you to squeeze your glutes a little bit because now you're taking away the anterior pelvic tilt. Now reach your toes. You already reached a little further, just activating and stabilizing correctly.
Yeah. Like, so the other day I was training someone and I was teaching them squatting technique and stuff like that. And I was like, you know, I like to tell them like, hey, just show me a squat and see what it looks like. And I'll go from there. And so they did it. And then I was like, all right, let's try this. Like, let's go ahead and place your feet here, you know, like grab the floor, spread the knees apart, all this stuff. And I was like, go for the squat again. And they were immediately able to dip lower into the squat because now their body had more stability, right? So it allowed them into that deeper position. So it could be mobility. It could be strength, right? Like you said, it could be a stability factor. I think there's a lot of factors into it. I think think about what's the one thing you need to do to restore it and think about what are all the things that you could do to restore it. You know what I mean?
So if I was to give a mobility exercise, though, that I would start people on, it'd be some form of a 90-90 in different formations and stuff like that. Or whether I'm sitting in a chair or something like, or I'm on the ground, some form of 90-90 is probably what I would tell people.
Suggest.
Which I believe we have a YouTube video on the 90-90.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
All right. Last question. I know I can't reduce the fat in my stomach, but what can I do to reduce my stomach pouch?
What do they call this in Spanish? The lonja? Lonja?
But, you know, sometimes it's not that you're not at a low enough body percent fat. I'm going to give you all something that I've noticed.
Okay.
I know because posture. So if you're in that anterior pelvic tilt where you're kind of bending forward, your stomach's going to pooch out, right?
Yeah.
Now, if I could bring you back, it's going to be more where you want it to be. So
you can drive it in. Yeah.
Recently,
yeah, no, go ahead.
Recently in my body that my right and left look more even. The way I walk feels better because I've been working really hard at my mobility and it changes your aesthetic appearance just a little bit. Yeah. And so that could be part of it. Part of it could be you're not low enough in body percent fat, so you just got to go lower.
Yeah, yeah. a lot of aspects to it, right? Yeah, I've had clients who've been working with me lately, and one of them, she was like, man, I've noticed that my posture has just gotten a lot better, you know. Another one told me, she was like, I was being really a lot more mindful about like, doing my posterior pelvic tilt when I'm like driving, especially things like that. And she was like, it just feels a lot better. I'm way more mindful of like how often I'm in that sort of anterior pelvic tilt and pulling back. In other aspects too, like even not in that, right? Like if we're more hunched forward, like the other day you brought to my attention like my thoracic spine, right? And I really was like, damn, like I can't believe I didn't ever think of that, like that would probably be the issue, because to me I'm like, well, I work out a lot, like I'm but it's like everybody has something going on, so I've been kind of like being like, oh, I got to make sure I'm working my extension, right, and pulling my whole chest back, not just the shoulders, right? That'll improve posture. All of those things are super important. And it's not always just like, oh, well, I got to strengthen my back more, or something.
Yeah, man. And going back to the stomach pouch too, is not just low, or if you're posterior or anterior pelvic tilt, you need to get forward, but it could be that you have something that makes you bloat too, like you're eating.
Yeah. I was having a conversation with one of our boys that we had on the podcast, and we were talking about fiber, because I've been taking a fiber supplement, and I was like, hey, bro, do you take one? And he was like, yeah, and he went off on it.
The guy's so brilliant.
yeah. And I was just like, wow.
I just asked a simple question.
No, he was on the chalkboard.
He got his glasses on.
He's like, the chemical structure of the fiber is.
Put the whole coat on.
No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, we were talking about it, and he was like, yeah, he was like, a timing of fiber is really important too. And he was like, some people do really well with it in the morning. Some people will do well with it at night. And he was like, when I was taking it, I think he told me that he found that at nighttime, he would feel really bloated taking it. So he started taking it in the morning. And he was like, he's very like smart and specific with how he does stuff. So he was like, well, I only really take fiber if I'm doing this, et cetera, stuff like that. And he was like, but generally it's a good idea, for most people to have it, especially if you're not getting it through your own, food and stuff like that. Because the way he was saying it, he was like, I don't take it anymore because I essentially get enough through like my food. And I was like, yeah, okay. But yeah, I find that now that I've started taking it, I take mine in the morning. I find that like waking up, I don't feel as bloated anymore. Going through work, I don't feel as bloated anymore. Like, dude, there was just days where I just felt like, just like big, just like, just like uncomfortable, like this kind of weird feeling. But now that I started taking it, it's changed like the way that my gut feels. I think at this point I want to finish the supplement I have. And then I asked him for a recommendation. I was like, can you give me like a really good one? And he was like, yeah, this is one that I take. This is one that I would recommend to people and stuff like that. So I was like, nah, I just want to kind of optimize it from here. So yeah.
All right. So guys, if you like what we're doing, please share on Apple and Spotify. You can rate and review us. Also, we're on YouTube. Please subscribe. Leave a comment down below. And we have our website, ssempowered.com. We have free blogs, free guides coming out, and programs for there on purchase. Then our email is strengthsolutionsempowered@gmail.com. Facebook is Strength Solutions. TikTok, strength.solutions.pod. And Instagram, Strength Solutions Empowered. I'm Strength Solutions Edwin.
I'm Strength Solutions Nathaniel.
Until next time, guys. What?